Have you got a few minutes every day to spend in the effort to restore the cause of liberty and proper government in this nation? Wonderful things bequeathed us at such a great cost. It's said that eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. It's oftentimes attributed to Patrick Henry or to Thomas Jefferson, but I've never been able to document that. I've found the earliest, closest resemblance of those words was John Philpot Curran, Lord Mayor of Dublin, said them back in 1790. And of course, Major General Jackson, he died in 1806, but in a 1809 biography, he said something like that. And of course, President Andrew Jackson in March of 1837 said that in his farewell address. And of course, Wendell Phillips, the abolitionist, in 1852 said it. Well, whoever originated it, I believe it's a great truism. Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. I believe it applies today just like it did 200 or 300 years ago. And I believe that it's something that we've got to focus on every single day to try and restore. We've just ended a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar beauty contest to try and select a president of the United States. And it's been rather disheartening in a lot of ways for those of us that love the cause of liberty. But it's not so disheartening in some ways too. That we're about, roughly, we don't know exactly because I don't think they've finished counting all the votes yet, but about 145 million votes cast in that presidential election. About 200,000, perhaps a little less, again, they haven't all been counted yet, but about 200,000 votes were cast in an effort to restore the cause of liberty and proper government. Say only 200,000 out of 145 million? That's horrid. Well, you could look at it that way, but I don't. I think we've got 200,000 friends of liberty out there in this nation. You remember the story of Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 19 in the Old Testament? Ahab and Jezebel were seeking vengeance against Elijah for some of the things that he had done that they'd taken offense at. And he'd had to escape for his life. He ended up hiding in a cave. And remember how the wind came and how there was an earthquake and how there was fire, and then there was the still small voice that spoke to him. Said, Elijah, what are you doing here? He says, I've worked so hard for the Lord to restore these great and noble things that these people ought to embrace. And I'm the only one left. They're seeking my life, and I'm having to hide out here. And we're told the Lord said to him, Elijah, there's 7,000 in all of Israel that have not bowed the knee to Baal. Now get back down there and get to work. Didn't quite say it that way, of course, but Elijah came off that mountain and out of the cave, and he went down and he appointed Elijah to help continue the work. So the work continued, and it was a great work, and it still needed to be done. But there were 7,000 in all of Israel that had not bowed the knee. Here in the United States, this past election has demonstrated to us that we have over perhaps 200,000 people. I'm certain that there are more that will join with this when they come to hear about our efforts. And I believe it's our responsibility to go forward and do that. It's interesting, back in Genesis, when Abraham was negotiating on behalf of Sodom and Gomorrah to prevent them from being destroyed, he said, will you save the cities for, if you can find 50 good people? How about 45? How about 40? Would you do it for 30? What about 20? How about 10? The Lord said, yeah, I'll work with 10 if there's 10 there. Well, I believe there's far more that would work with us if they came to a knowledge of what we were offering. So here we have perhaps 200,000 that consciously came forward and voted on behalf of the cause of liberty and a restoration of the Americanist principles that made this a great and wonderful nation. And regardless of how you feel about how the other people are going to do things now, it's our job to go forward. The Founding Fathers were in a battle. The Founding Fathers challenged the most powerful nation on earth to try and establish a land of liberty. They pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to that great cause. It was bequeathed to us at a great price. We still have it, really. The great Constitution, those words are known. We can understand them, we can apply them, and we can restore them. We do have the vote. We have a voice. We must work diligently as we go forward. Now is not the time to step back from this, simply because we're tired of listening to the rhetoric that so many have brought forth that really have not made a lick of sense in terms of proper government. All sorts of unsound doctrine has been promoted. We've got to promote again the sound, good, and noble principles that were brought forth in this nation, and perhaps again pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Join with me regularly in these liberty moments. We'll try and have little brief chats to discuss how we might do that. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.